What's up, guys? Kevin Cage back with another XRP update. You're not going to want to miss this one. So to kick things off, we have a recent document by the World Economic Forum, a report on cryptocurrency, December 2020. Crypto, what is it good for? An overview of cryptocurrency use cases. This was shared by Bank XRP. Definite subscribe on YouTube as well as Twitter. Now, to kick things off, we can see this. RippleNet also allows customers to source liquidity on demand via the digital asset XRP. Right here. Ripple's, the company, their primary goal is to enable payments everywhere, every way, for everyone, without borders. I love that. Using blockchain and digital assets. The company is focused on using XRP specifically to address the $10 trillion problem, trapped capital that is required for cross-border payments. And this is what I call just-in-case money. All right? XRP was built for a payments use case. This is not a mere store of value. This is meant for high velocity payments, guys. Whether it's low value or high value, it does not matter. Whether it's Ripple, whether it's R3 or any other groups that are leveraging this digital asset to source on-demand liquidity. And now, of course, we know that we are getting into lending as well with the line of credit initiative. And we understand what credit does when there's interest. It creates demand for XRP out of thin air. And I like that. So XRP was built for payments. We can see settles in approximately 3 seconds, scales to already 1,500 plus transactions per second. You can see the transaction costs 0.0003. Absolutely incredible. We remember when Arrington sent $50 million via XRP and it costed pennies, less than $1. That is very different than today's current ecosystem of the correspondent banking network, where 6% of all payments fail and don't get to the destination. There's no way to even track it well. And we'll talk about what Swift is trying to do to remedy some of these situations and stay relevant, but these fintechs like Ripple are going to absolutely take over or just essentially be adopted by the existing protocols. If you remember in my previous video, guys, the killer formula, Chris Larson talking about what logistics in the shipping container, a single standard size for a shipping container, did for logistics and global production. It multiplied it massively, and this is the same thing that is going to happen with payments. All right, so let me see what he has here. Just show him the title, and we'll just do a Control F and get into this. And at the end of the video, guys, I'm going to show you Alex Holmes, CEO of MoneyGram, one of the largest money service businesses in the world, speaking very highly of the partnership that MoneyGram and Ripple has had. And we know MoneyGram is tight with Walmart, etc., helping these groups scale in a massive way. And I want to show you a few other groups that are launching applications, and yes, they are RippleNets as well. So see right here, hopefully you can see this a little more clearly, and I did retweet this on Twitter. Bank XRP has it if you guys want the link yourself, and just go through this. So that's $10 trillion of just-in-case money. Even $1 trillion float around the globe is a massive problem. And the cool thing is that with RippleX and other initiatives and gaming and micropayments, this is not at all the top. There is no limit. The sky is the limit for XRP. We are so early in such a nascent market and asset class for that matter. All right, so let me see if there's any other good stuff. I went through this earlier. I just want to see if there was any other pages. So notice how they say permissioned and permissionless, because the XRP ledger is open source entirely. It's permissionless, but they have clients that will value privacy and want privacy to some degree. So there's combinations of this. I don't care if it's, entirely open source or permissioned altogether. What's going to happen is there's going to be interoperability across the board for this ecosystem. All right? Let me see if there's anything else. Talking about some of their big partners: American Express, Banco Santander, Asimo, MoneyGram, SBI, HDFC, which we've talked about a lot before, and they are another behemoth. Talking about key metrics, on-demand liquidity, using XRP as a bridge between two fiat currencies. And in the future, remember the previous video of Patrick Griffin of Ripple, it's just a bridge between anything, any currencies. Eventually, it could be a bridge between two equity or two shares between two different platforms. It's just a bridge currency. It could bridge a stock for gold. It could transfer a house title. It could transfer anything, and that is the future we're going to as payments become digital and we enter the internet of value. We can send emails, we can send pictures, we can text each other across the globe on different applications, but value is a very different thing, and it's time that we're witnessing this evolution. talking about the overview, nothing you guys don't already know. Anyways, next up, so we have Matthew Liny sharing this. So Bank of America and Swift to set up a new tracker for payments. So we always keep an eye on this. Remember, this is just a tracker for payments. This is transparency and, messaging, the data layer. I'm not intimidated by it. We're not worried about it. As we can recall, Bank of America is one of the first members in the creation of the first interbank group of global payments on distributed financial technology, aka this is RippleNet. So we had some massive people back in 2016 form RippleNet. Obviously, you can see the caliber of groups: BOA, Santander, UniCredit, Standard Chartered, and they're always into some big things, including crypto custody, Westpac, Royal Bank of Canada, CIBC, etc. All right, so let's get into this really quick. BOA and Swift to set up a new tracker for payments. Essentially, guys, just kind of like GPI. It's just messaging, nothing to worry about. It's not competing. They don't have the money or even the war chest to actually enable and innovate in this ecosystem. Unfortunately, Swift is Belgium-based. More and more countries and jurisdictions are wanting to get out of the foothold of the US dollar denomination. This means this is opportunity for a neutral bridge asset like XRP. Right here will underpin the tool of GPI will be used to bring international money transfer data to customers in an easily digested manner. Awesome. I mean, the sooner they improve the messaging, the Swift GPI, which is essentially Xcurrent, which was Ripple's creation, the better. I want improved payments altogether. And yes, messaging, data, information, reconciliation is a part of that before we can leverage and get actual real-time settlements, which is the foundational layer of the payment stack. Next up, so we have DJ Peter Voss sharing this, running on RippleNet. So we have Niam Cebuana launch Quix in Singapore to expand remittance capabilities for Filipino users. Now, if you've been in the community for even a year, maybe the past couple of years, you understand that Ripple essentially has already taken over Singapore and the Philippines. There's no question. The Singaporean dollar and the Philippine peso. There's so many partners leveraging this. These countries are moving a lot faster. Even Cambodia, Southeast Asia, a very great hotbed for fintech and innovation because there's so much friction in the current ecosystem. For example, really quick, so Niam, we know Niam. Where have we seen them before? Well, on many Ripple Insights pages, and then literally talking about leveraging like RippleNet altogether in the software, rolling it out, the corridors. You guys can see it clearly. I'm sure many of you have seen this video for a long, long time. All right. Next, we've also seen Cebuana. So notice right here, this is older. This is from 2018. Cebuana to use RippleNet's blockchain tech for faster, more secure money transfer services. This stuff is not happening out of the blue. This has been developed. There's strategies, and it is happening in front of our eyes now. But there's a lot of things that we do not know. So notice, in a bid to revolutionize its money transfer service business, Cebuana, and I'm going to butcher that second word, the country's leading microfinancial services provider, has partnered with RippleNet to use its enterprise software solution, Xcurrent. So cool your jets, guys. This is not XRP yet. It is Xcurrent. But again, we understand how easy it is via a single API to eventually leverage ODL, on-demand liquidity, which is XRP, and then tracking, instantly settle cross-border payments. It's just like, and honestly, it's just GPI, maybe a tad better. All right. So with the partnership, Cebuana becomes the first microfinancial services provider in the Philippines to use a blockchain network solution to quickly and conveniently transfer money. Very exciting. We're going to keep a close eye on this. And yes, I know it's been 2 years and there's a lot that has happened in the Philippines in particular since then. All right. So right here, we can see that Quix, this application, powered by Niam's trusted remittance as a service solution. I like that, RAAS. So instead of banking as a service or even blockchain as a service, we're seeing remittance as a service. And Cebuana's huge network of payout locations in the Philippines, allowing thousands of Filipinos based in Singapore to enjoy improved convenience, security, and real-time global transactions, solving real problems for everyday people. That is something I can get behind. All right, so I encourage you guys to monitor this and check this out in the future. Next up, so this is shared by the XRP Bully, and the chart below shows the average monthly hash rate breakdown by the country in Chinese providers, if selected. So just essentially alluding to Bitcoin centralization. This is actually on the University of Cambridge's site, and we can see this Bitcoin mining map altogether. And of course, this is just something I want to make a point is, guys, in my mind, there's always going to be haters for every asset. There's so much hate towards XRP because obviously what it stands for, instead of replacing the system in a peer-to-peer network, XRP is everything they hate because Bitcoin maxis, you're going to be calling it a scam even when XRP is $10 plus. There's no doubt in my mind. And it's because it's more efficient at doing its job. I wish Bitcoin well. And to be honest, I don't think Bitcoin was just created by some unknown guy, Satoshi Nakamoto, that was an anarchist. I think it's been an inside job by some of the powers that be, or, big governments around the world. That's just my thought. To each their own. But if you look closely and you kind of realize they can't lose this game if it was their game to begin with. All right. So I encourage you guys to look at this. You can see most of the, obviously, hash rate, monthly speaking, is coming out of China and the US, and then also out of Russia. All right. So people argue and call XRP centralized and, all of this. That's just a joke to me. In terms of consensus, even in terms of distribution in due time, we understand how that's going to change and is changing in front of our eyes. I don't care if it's centralized or decentralized. I'm here as an investor. Some people do, but I see this having one of the highest earning potentials compared to any other digital asset. And that's actually being used today. Other assets, I love them, I hold them, I diversify, but some of them aren't even on a mainnet. So before people are throwing dirt at XRP, you might want to, double check yourself. All right. Specifically because Bitcoin can take hours to even send, and you have to pay $50 in fees for even sending a normal. Like one time I sent what was it? I sent maybe $30,000 and it took probably $2,000 in fees. It was absolutely ridiculous, and I had to send it through Bitcoin through obviously a foreign exchange platform I was trading on. So that's just one little example. I have the trades monitored, documented. It's ridiculous. All right. Anyways, Slide app adds cryptocurrency payments via BitPay. Excuse me. I know some of you. I think BitPay has a debit card option for spending crypto, and the mobile payments app is already used in over 100,000 locations in the U.S. alone. And also, why I like it is because we finally have XRP here listed as well. They accept 4 of the world's foremost cryptos: Bitcoin, Bitcoin Cash, XRP, Ethereum, as well as various dollar-pegged stablecoins. Now, I've repeated this, for a while, but just keep in mind, guys, stablecoin, they're basically just betting. They're calling the USDC, and I love the USDC stablecoin by Circle, just so you know. But essentially, it's just, I guess you could say a pegged coin. I wouldn't really want to call it a stablecoin because they're betting that the US dollar valuation is stable. If the US dollar plummets or goes up and is very volatile, it's not stable. So I'd much rather call stablecoins pegged coins because it's just simply pegged to the value. But to each of their own. I know, stablecoin is a little easier for everyday people to grasp, but at the end of the day, it's only as stable as the underlying asset beneath it, or, pegged. So we're just going to use the word pegged in the future. All right. So again, lowering the barriers to entry, expansion, more acceptance across the board, and just more attention. Attention is everything. Next, okay, so XRP Joker actually sent this my way, so thank you. Today on CNN, this was yesterday, MoneyGram partner with Ripple on digital payments. We have Alex Holmes, a match made in heaven, partners with Ripple digital payments. Now, this has been a long time coming, and his commentary on specifically the pandemic and its effect on the whole payments ecosystem. This is on Apple News, and I'm actually going to play a clip and just listen up to this. And if I'm not able to play this, I'm just going to cut it out, and hopefully you guys have a great day. I just don't want to get a copyright strike. So listen up with, again, Julia Chatterley.
It really has been an absolutely remarkable couple of years for MoneyGram, and certainly what we've seen throughout 2020 has been nothing short of remarkable. As you said, the performance of our digital business has been just absolutely amazing. And, even prior to the onset of the pandemic, we were seeing phenomenal returns on that business with increasing customers utilizing our app, increasing downloads, increasing throughput, and expansion, of course, into a number of markets with our online services. But ever since the pandemic has kicked in, we've really seen just complete resilience in that business and a continued acceleration. As you said, 11 consecutive months of triple-digit cross-border growth, 136% in the month of November. And it's really
thanks to Ripple, partially
been driven by that utilization and convenience of mobile technology, the simplicity of the throughput, and the ease of which consumers are finding digital applications, particularly during the pandemic when, stay-at-home orders or shelter-in-place orders have really restricted their movement and their ability to get out and do what they might normally have done.
What proportion of the customers are now using digital platforms versus before? I mean, just give us a sense. Yeah,
absolutely. In the U.S., we've actually roughly doubled the output through our online platform as compared to our walk-in business. So U.S. outbound is really driving tremendous over the past year. About 27% of our global business today is digital, but that's of course against the backdrop of really 200 countries that we operate in, and only about 80 of those really digitized today. So.
Okay, so he said what, 20+%, 27% is digital? Just understand, if we see the trends, e-commerce, year-over-year CAGR, all of this, it's going to be 50% plus digital, 75% digital, etc., and on its way to potentially 100%. Now, I'm not saying it's going to be cashless society across the board anytime soon. What I'm saying is cash less, just overall less cash. We're seeing a trend. The trend is your friend, and we here are capitalizing off this transfer.
When you look at it kind of on...
And also really quick, I'm sure you guys hate when I rant like this, but we are saving trillions of dollars. There's trillions of dollars in float across the board. So essentially what's happening is we are saving, people are saving money thanks to digital assets like XRP when they're in live transaction flows. And all of those trillions of dollars that the banks hold is just in case money that are hit with inflation, capital costs, even just loss of creating additional revenue streams. That fake artificial money sitting out there is going to be going into our pockets as XRP's valuation appreciates, thanks to consistent and growing volume, consistent and growing transaction sizes across the XRP ledger, and a plethora of other use cases, plus the multiplier effects of you, me, and exchanges holding billions of XRP. Hence, again, reducing supply, increasing demand. That's why I am bullish long term. Of course, price can swing anytime. If XRP goes down 10 cents, I'm going to have the typical people saying XRP's dumping, scam coin, and then I guarantee, months from now, a year from now, it's going to be up several dollars every single time, no doubt.
On a more isolated basis, that percentage is even higher. And as I mentioned, the U.S. is a great example of that, where we're really seeing this surge in consumers looking for that online application and the ease of use and the convenience of it. We're also seeing an increase in face value sent on a per transaction basis, and that's even throughout the pandemic. And so you're definitely seeing the resiliency of the consumer base, and then the ease and convenience of the online application. And we've seen about 140% increase in new customers on the online platform. We've seen a 220% increase in transactions through our app. So across the board, simply remarkable returns, and we're very, very happy with that performance.
Yeah, and it's not just about remittances, though. I do want you to tell me what you've seen in terms of remittances, because when you see a struggle in the economy and people losing jobs in one country, you'd assume they send less money home, but I know it's the opposite. Just explain what you've seen in terms of people perhaps sending more money back to foreign nations rather than less, despite the economic strife.
Yeah, it's a great point, and it's one that's certainly counterintuitive to what many people expected, particularly early on in the pandemic. There was expectations that we would see remittances drop globally, and certainly we saw that, right at the start of the pandemic when the real shelter-in-place restrictions kicked in. Since really the back end of April and into May, we've seen just a resurgence in remittances. We did a survey recently of 1,500 of our customers here in the U.S., with 80% of them saying that they feel that their friends and family back home are more in need now than they've ever been before. 70% of our customers saying that they have sent more home in 2020 than they have before. And I think that's really reflective of the responsibility that a lot of our customers and migrants take on when they leave their home country in the first place, the reliance on the support that they send back. And so you see many consumers finding more work, moving around, and obviously unemployment is up in a number of areas, clearly hospitality, service, restaurants, et cetera, the cruise industry. But when you look at the resilience of food processing, agriculture, the stability in some cases of construction and other type industries, our customers figure it out. They also tend to have a higher propensity for saving as well, as compared to perhaps a normal or regular U.S. citizen, and so they're able to tap into some of those savings as well and really hold back on their own expenses to send money back. We are seeing an increase in face value sent per transaction and an increase in transaction growth across the board. So it really is a very different outcome than I think many people expected. And of course, there is concern about sustainability of that. Obviously, stimulus has helped in some cases and these types of things. But clearly, as the pandemic has moved along, we really haven't seen a slowdown at all in their sending habits. And so that's been very nice to see.
And to finish up, guys, just a question for you guys. If Ripple and XRP are such a scam, why have the biggest technology providers integrated their technology years ago? We can mention Volante and Volpay and the Ripple module. We can talk about, let's see, CGI. We can talk about Finastra with 9,000 clients right there. Of the top 50, they have the top 48 banks in the world. We have a plethora. We have ACI Worldwide sending $14 trillion per day. And yes, that includes securities as well. Earthport, etc. So some big hub and spoke model players. To me, it is simply just a massive plan. And yes, sometimes this rollout takes longer than we want. But again, you cannot just revolutionize the whole world of finance in a single year. So we are going 8 years strong. And as we can see, now all of these institutions are paying attention to crypto assets as well. So yes, this is snowballing right in front of our eyes. As always, hopefully you guys enjoyed. Zero doubt. See you in the next one.